To what extent does the mood you are in determine the type of food that you choose to eat? Sometimes some people would argue saying that food is food so long as you are hungry, or so long as it's time for you to eat, you'll eat the food, and especially if you're hungry. But then what if I told you that sometimes the mood you're in can determine your food choices? Look at my food choices today. Look at the colors. Do they tell you something about the mood I am in? I'm not trying to say that on the other days I'm in a bad mood, but today I looked at the food that I've prepared to break my fast, and I'm like, oh, how did this come up? And then I listened to myself and I'm like, oh, I think I've been having some sort of joy in my head since I woke up. And then I remembered that when I got out of bed, the first thing that I did, I drew the curtain as I usually do. And then I broke into song, singing about a new day and a new chance and what I was going to do. And after preparing, I sat at my desk and I did what I can call useful work. So that's why I decided to start today's video with that question. So welcome to my day 6 of fasting. I joined this fasting challenge which started on the 1st of August, and today is my day 6. If you watch my previous videos, you'll see the different types of foods that I have been eating. But I can tell you that today is the most colorful of all days, in that I have a lot of colors, from orange to green to purple, and then red, yellow, brown, all sorts of colors on my plate, which means that day 6, welcome. This is a challenge where we were challenged to eat within an 8-hour window and then fast for 16 hours. And so far I can say that I've been holding in there well. And let me start, before I tell you how I am feeling and what I've learned, let me start by telling you about the food that I have on the table today. So let me start with my cup of tea. This is tea masala. Tea masala in that I prepare the tea by adding ginger, turmeric, black pepper, tea leaves, water, and milk. Not all of them together. There is an order that I follow. So if you would like to know the best way to prepare your masala tea, you can comment below, ask me, and I can prepare a video for you. So I have a cup of my masala tea, and next to that, yesterday I went into a grocery store, and what did I see? Purple sweet potatoes, and I was like, this is a calling. So I got the sweet potatoes. I boiled them today, so that's what I've served, part of my meal to break the fast. Today includes the purple sweet potatoes, and then next to it, today I'm telling you, it was all about color. I was like, which is the best way to brighten up my food to break the fast? And there was this small voice telling me, instead of doing the usual boiled eggs or fried eggs, why not prepare an omelette for yourself? And that's exactly what I did. As you can see, the ingredients there that I prepared, I went outside, got green onions, chopped them. I got 2 leaves of sukuma wiki, chopped them. Then we have pilipili hoho in the house. I cut part of that and I added tomatoes. Then I added, of course, I added eggs, 3 eggs, and I added, I think I forgot to add salt. I added some mixed spices. So I'm going to enjoy that beautiful looking omelette. And our avocados have ripened, and I have a very nice tangerine there, beautiful looking tangerine. So those are my 2 fruits for today. So this is the type of food, these are the food items that I'm going to eat to break my fast today. So for you, if you are part of this challenge or a different challenge where you are fasting, what type of foods do you like to eat to break your fast? Or what foods are you eating today? Please comment below, share, so that we can learn from one another. I might see your food items and be like, tomorrow I need to include this in my food. But if you're not fasting, and a disclaimer here, fasting is not for everybody. The information that I share here is just my story, my experience, and what I'm doing for myself. Please, if you don't know your body well, I would ask that you consult with your medical practitioner before you can decide to also start fasting. So even if I keep on saying like, welcome, welcome, join us so that we can do this, it's not for everybody. So keep that in mind if you decide to join us. And I know you could be wondering, this is day 6. How am I feeling? What have I learned? Or are there challenges? Maybe I can start with the challenges. It's not a big challenge, but the whole issue of deciding what to eat. Whether you have the food ready or not ready. For those who rush out of the house in the morning, deciding what to carry can be a challenge if you don't do it the night before. So on the days when I leave the house early, I prepare the food the night before, have it ready, and then the next morning I can either warm it up into a food flask and go. But if I'm going to a place where I'll be able to warm the food, then I carry it and I go. So that's what I would see as a challenge, but then there is the solution on how to go about that. So for me, all along, it's been, I can call it a joy. But as I mentioned before, part of the joy is that it's not my first time to fast. It's only my first time to observe the 16-hour fast. Otherwise, in the past, maybe 1 or 2 days a week, I usually eat a late breakfast, especially if I'm working from the house. And I can be eating breakfast at 10, at 11, and sometimes it goes with what I am working on. If I'm editing or writing a book and it's flowing so well, usually I don't stop. I just continue until I reach what we call a full stop, a nice place for me to stop without losing the story. Then I can stop there and then go and eat. So fasting is not very new to me, because I know some of you might wonder, like, you started on the fast and you are so comfortable doing it. Because on some days I take my first meal at 1 p.m., midday. So it's not something very new to my body. So don't beat yourself up if you're trying the 16 hours and it's not working for you. Just keep on trying. You can even decide to reduce the hours, and over time you'll realize, or you discover, that it's actually doable. And in relation to how I am feeling, like, are there any benefits? Of course, one of them is that I have learned about myself that I can actually go without food for 16 hours. But then to be able to do that, It means that I make very informed food choices. That's the type of food that I eat as I start my fasting, and also the type of food that I choose to eat when I am breaking the fast. So before starting fasting, we usually have a window of 8 hours within which we can eat. So it really depends on how you choose to make use of those 8 hours. For me, maybe because I'm busy with the work that I'm doing, I end up eating 2 meals per day. And so far, I'm okay in that I do a lot of mental work, reading, editing, writing, and I find that I have enough energy to keep doing the work, either in the morning or in the afternoon. And of course, it's not only food that I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on my whole lifestyle. Like, I still do physical exercise, I go for walks, and even while I'm doing my work, there are some movements that I keep on doing so that my body is not staying still. I take time off from my desk, I stand up. There are breathing in and out exercises that I get to do. I do squats so often that I'm getting used to doing squats, because if you are somebody who works at a desk for long hours, it's good to discover simple, quick exercises that you can do to continue staying fit and also to retain the energy. So yeah, I was talking about energy. I find myself having continuous energy. And the third lesson that I have learned is that being part of a group that is going through this challenge, it's pushed me to prepare a variety of food items. First of all, because I'm taking 2 meals a day, I end up taking 2 meals a day. So I'm like, I need to take the best in terms of diversity and nutrients. And it's also pushing me to be faster when it comes to food preparation, in that usually when I break my fast, it's supposed to start at 10 a.m., but I always end up starting at midday. And normally my brain is like, you're on your lunch break, it's 1 hour, so you really need to work hard, work faster, so that after 1 hour you go back to your desk. So it's made me be very, very efficient in time management and in food preparation. So those are the lessons and experiences that I can mention to date. I'll keep on sharing, especially if I feel different along the way. I'll keep on sharing. So that's all that I have to share with you today. But before you go, for those of you who are new here, welcome, welcome. And for those who are return visitors, thank you for coming back. My name is Eileen. I usually come here to talk about caregiving, caring for elderly parents, especially in Africa. So I share information drawn from my experience and the experience of my siblings as we provide care to our elderly parents in our rural home. So we talk about food choices, we talk about medical and medicines, we talk about physical fitness, gardening, we talk about social engagement, and we talk about financial issues and, of course, coordination of care. So I also share information about the well-being of the caregiver, because I have been a caregiver on and off, and I know that it's of benefit to the care receiver if the caregiver is also taking care of themselves. So if you are looking for such information, if you are a caregiver to an elderly parent or to a loved one, and you're looking for information on what you can do, especially if your loved ones are in a rural area. Subscribe and come along with me. And you can see I already have videos there that you can start watching. Ask your questions and I'll come back and answer. So today, thank you for coming along with me on this journey. And for now, it's a goodbye from me. Bye-bye.